VR Sport, the luxury of freedom unleashed.
iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. iDiski Times. Hello and welcome to the weekend of the final. So it's one of the first few steps, but it takes one to make 10. In order to get 10, you need one. Sometimes people look at one and they undermine one. In order for you to be a treble winner, you need to have won the first trophy. Orlando Pirates have won the first trophy, which is the MTN 8. Now then, to get to 3, you need to first get to 2. Tomorrow, 6 p.m., Marumo Gallants, Orlando Pirates. On the road to a treble and possibly maybe a quadruple, which is MTN 8, Carling Knockout, Nedbank Cup, and perhaps the league. Pirates are number 1 in the league, so we have to put them in that conversation validly so. If they win tomorrow, they will then have a valid opportunity to win a treble. The last time they won a treble was 13 years ago. So this weekend, Coach Abdeslam Wadu will take a few steps towards a historic moment. Second trophy, it will be double. It will be a double for the time being if he wins tomorrow. And then marching on to the Nedbank Cup, maybe a treble, or the league, a treble too. Maybe if he wins everything, it will be a quadruple. Lindo Pep, what do you think of the premise, sir?
No, that was good. Best in the country, Mr. Nkiu. With what you do, no, guaranteed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have to. We are opinion makers.
Yeah.
I am not conjuring something out of nothing. There is a realistic possibility that if Pirates win tomorrow,
It's a double.
it's a double. Then they will have 2 opportunities, either the Nedbank Cup or the league, to make it a treble. That would mean that they have a formidable season.
Yeah.
Although, of course, if only it's a treble, that doesn't include the league, it means you've won 12 matches and winning 3 trophies. It's not as the same as a treble with a league.
Mr. Nkiu, if they win this one, they're guaranteed the Nedbank Cup final or semi-finalist because we are going to Maluti Stars and Tonton. And then over the past 3 years, those are the draws they're getting. Tembi, and Tonton,
Oh, there's no guarantee.
You know, there's no guarantee. But over the last 3 years, we've seen the draw. It's always Maluti,
But
Tembi,
the treble Enganai League is not obviously the same thing. It is a treble in South Africa because South Africa is the only country
that
where
has
you
more
can
domestic.
win. In a domestic amaning. So it's the only country where you can win a treble of domestic trophies because we don't have a super cup. So if you win a treble of MTN 8, Carling, plus Nedbank, good season. Players have their bonuses, but it will be more formidable if you win the league.
If you win the league,
Plus maybe 2 trophies. Let's talk about tomorrow, or maybe let's talk about the historic moment that it would be then, tomorrow for Orlando Pirates. Assume that they win. It will be a double on the way to a treble. Do you think that in the building at Orlando, they're thinking that?
Yeah, Mr. Nkiu, they're thinking like that. They understand the value of competitions and cup competitions as well, more especially at Orlando Pirates. They know that this is a confidence booster. It's a psychological boost going into the rest of the season. They were knocked out of the Champions League. So this is a big game for them. It matters. In terms of the coach, this is a landmark for him. Personally, for him as a coach, I think it builds trust with the management and the players. It gives him the confidence as well to run the dressing room. From a player perspective, it starts putting those players into the history books of Orlando Pirates to say you guys have the tag Ebati Cup Kings because they've done well over the last 4 or 5 years where they've played almost every cup final in the country, which is exceptional and incredible from those football players. And as a management, as a club, it solidifies what they've been trying to do in terms of the project that they've been trying to build. Yes, sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't get it right. The last season under Jorge Rivero, there were so many mistakes that happened in the second round of the season. Maybe this season they're trying to sort and fix that. You look at the signings that they brought in, it tells you with the mentality that they believe in the project, they believe in the coaches, they believe in the players that they're trying to build.
I suppose we appreciate the moment that it would have been with one eye on the Champions League.
For sure.
Given that you no longer have that as a possibility, maybe the next best thing is to dominate domestic competitions.
Dominate. And like I said, Mr. Nkeo, they need that psychological boost over Mamelodi Sundowns. They already have the blueprint. They know how to win these cup competitions. They play the MTN 8 and they won. They know how to play matches of high pedigree. Every time Orlando Pirates, when they play matches like this, they always show up. They did it even in the CAF Champions League. We were all surprised. If we are honest, we were all surprised that they reached the semi-final.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because them beating MC Alger for sure, but beating Al Ahly was a surprise. Going into Algeria, no one expected them to get those results. But it's a team that has showed, even when they play domestically, when they play against the Kaizer Chiefs over the last 3 years, they win those games. When they play against the Mamelodi Sundowns, they normally maybe don't dominate, but they always have a tactical strategy that they use to make sure that they come out on top in those games. This season, again, they start the season in big match pedigree against the Mamelodi Sundowns in two-legged game.
Two semi-finals.
They didn't lose that game. They didn't concede as much. They go and they play against the Stellenbosch. They scored 3 goals. In the Carling Cup, they played difficult games and they made sure that they come out on top. In league form, yeah, but they're coming into this final with unbelievable league form. They're coming with player form as well. So many players in that Orlando Pirates squad are super high in confidence, high in form. The team in itself is really high in form. The coach is really confident in what he's doing. Also, you have to give credit to the technical team that he works with, because you can see the support that he gets from people like Abomandla Ncikazi. To rotate the team is not easy. To manage that dressing room is not easy. And for me, the fact that they've reached the final is a huge thing. Like I said, I did say that for the players, they go into the history books. For the coach, it says to him, hey, I'm here, I've arrived in South African football and I've done very well. For the club, it says to the club, you guys are in the right track. You keep doing what you're doing. Invest a little bit more money in the club, invest a little bit more resources, get the right people to work at the football club, because it's not only the coach. They brought in analysts from Stellenbosch, from TS Galaxy. They've invested in the backroom staff. I think Orlando Pirates is one of the teams that has 5 or 6 analysts. They even swapped Jacob and made him an assistant, because they've got plenty of analysts on the ground. So the people that are working behind the scenes, the kit men, the people, the psychologists, they even have a psychologist at the football club. But also, I can't maybe mention his name because that's for people in the media to do that. But you have to give the technical director credit for this, because nobody knows the kind of job that he's doing. The players, even he brought the coach into the football club. Yes, with the advice of such certain people, but he believed in the coach, seeing him from Marumo Gallants. Looking at Azwen Apollos, it makes a lot of sense, because even when you listen to him talk, he speaks very well of those players. Muremi, I was used to listen to him last year speaking very well of Muremi. The influence of signing the kind of midfielders comes from iDiskiTV.
So in other words, let's not give ourselves too much credit. In other words,
and I was there. That's
Orlando Pirates. Oh, you heard the
I heard.
I was up like you are making yourself not be invited for the future if you are revealing secrets.
Yeah.
In other words, they have replaced Oprasten.
Yeah.
Without revealing too much,
Yeah.
they have replaced that gap Oprasten.
They've replaced
of
Oprasten.
Someone who identifies talent.
Another credit is, maybe you need to give Upra credit. You need to give Mpomi Nkosana credit, because they identified that, okay, maybe Oprasten is a little bit older. There's challenges that he has health-wise. And they roped in the guy. They brought in the guy and they showed him. He's also, I think he loves the club. He supports the club. And him doing the job that he's doing is probably working.
Let me help
you.
You're going to miss out on big things. There is a football club called Marumo Gallants.
Yeah.
That's playing. So it's not only Abelung Basa England by busy procession. Procession is basically Maulon Autoazi, which is shy. Yeah, boy, it's a procession. It's like you are going to battle, but you already know that you're going to win.
Yeah.
Now let's pay respect to the other team in the picture as well. That is Marumo Gallants. To them, what's the priority? To them, do you contain? What's the plan? How do they go about upsetting millions of Orlando Pirates fans?
Yeah, Mr. Nkewi, Marumo Gallants over the years, they've actually given themselves the tagline of destabilizing some of the big teams.
They've beaten Pirates, they've beaten Chiefs, they've beaten
Mamelodi
Sundowns.
Yeah. They did it in this season.
In the last 12 months calendar, with including Abdeslam Wadu when he was a coach, they've beaten all the big 3 teams.
Yeah, Mr. Nkewi, firstly, give credit to the management for always identifying the right coaches. I think Ngayo, Abdeslam Wadu, and even this coach. It's a team that does have a game model, in my opinion. I know that a lot of clubs in the Betway Premiership don't have a game model. It's a very clear, identical game model that they want to use. They want to bring in high-profile players. It's very clear. They've got the support, the fan base. They want to play on a transition, for sure, with the type of players that they have. They normally have a defensive mid-low block. They like overloading in certain positions, like in midfield. You would find them not necessarily using an out-and-out, but they normally use a false winger, so that does add my numbers into midfield. You look at the fullbacks that they have as well. They've got quality fullbacks in terms of offensively, defensively. We spoke about the centre-back. I forgot that guy's name. Chabatsana. Mpo Chabatsana. I think the boy has been doing very well. Washington Arubi in goal, international goalkeeper.
I think there's only one plan, as you mentioned, Arubi.
Yeah.
That they beat Golden Arrows on penalties in this competition, and they also beat, I'm recalling this on memory, they dragged the game to penalties against Sundowns. I think the secret weapon, although it's not secret, is a Zimbabwe man by the name of Washington Arubi. Now, given that we know that that's the plan potentially, it is possible that tomorrow we'll be watching a final that goes to extra time
Yeah.
with the intention, in the playbook of Marumo Gallants, in their plans, in their dreams tonight as they head in tomorrow, they could drag this to go to penalties so that Washington Arubi gives them a fighting chance because it's helped them to beat Sundowns on penalties, it's helped them to beat Golden Arrows on penalties. Maybe that's the plan.
Teams like Marumo Gallants, even him, Washington Arubi is a very experienced goalkeeper. I think 36 years of age. He knows that he's going to have a big game. He's got a big game ahead of him. Number two is that the defensive mid-low block needs to be solid. The defense needs to be a little bit tighter. They need to always allow Orlando Pirates to come in central because they are very dangerous coming into wider areas, the Orlando Pirates. They've got fast, pacey wingers who can decide the game, even from the wider areas. Centrally, yes, they've got players who like attacking that central space. But if we check out the game model, Marumo Gallants, they do suck you into their half a little bit because they've got pacey wingers in Abom Sendane as well as, I think, the other boy, Clifford, the one who scored the goal outside. Jason Clifford. So they do have exciting wingers as well who can decide the game anytime. But I think also you need to give Ustolo, who plays in midfield, the left footer in midfield. He does sometimes add an element of control and sophistication in midfield where he's more of a ball player. But they normally use the boy who comes from Supersport Unklapo to add as a defensive layer, as a defensive layer because he almost acts like as a fifth defender. Understanding how Orlando Pirates play, they're going to make sure that they deny Orlando Pirates spaces on the wider areas because Mfuke Nkota, a police can kill you any time of the day. Umbule with their creative...
Because of time, I need to press you for a winner. Also, we have to tell people that he is here on Friday because he's not going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll miss him for the final, but we'll get him on Sunday when Chiefs play TS Galaxy because you are going to Limpopo, right?
Not Limpopo. No, yes, Polokwane.
Yeah, sorry, yes, that's the province.
Yeah,
Limpopo.
province.
So
Yeah.
you are going to
Yes.
the final. So you're not going to be here tomorrow. What do you think is going to win in the event that you are going to, and maybe the scoreline as well?
It's very hard not to say Orlando Pirates.
Yeah, very difficult.
But I wouldn't also be surprised if Marumo Gallants does upset. But I do see the game dragging. Yeah, I'm going to pick one. But I do see the game dragging. It's not an easy game for Orlando Pirates, for sure. Whether tactically, player individual, it's a final. Marumo Gallants is more... they're playing for pride. They're playing for excellence. They want to win this. They've never won a competition. Orlando Pirates, it's a they need to make a statement. Pirates, they always... I don't see a... To be honest with you... It's very difficult to predict, but maybe let me give it to Orlando Pirates with a 2-1 result. Evidence Mahopa to score. Rilem Fukeng to score the opening goal.
All right, there you go. Thank you very much, Lindo Pep. So we'll see him on Sunday. That's Kaizer Chiefs TS Galaxy. Won't be here for the final. The final is between Marumo Gallants and Orlando Pirates. We'll be here, of course, with Utso Vilagazi, Junior Kanye, Ubobo, Ushane, myself, Justice Shabalala. All of us will be here as well. iDiskiTV times, we're suspecting.
Boom. Shapunjan bafowethu igama lami Lindo Pep, the best analyst in the country. Please don't forget to subscribe to iDiskiTV. Tanko.
This is Bongane Benedict Villagazi, they call me so. Niazi bafethu, I'm a coach for life. They are back in winning ways. Please, I tell you to subscribe to iDiskiTV.